So we all have this friend in our life that is holding us back. We can't get rid of them. But what I want to show you here in this video is how you can spot how that friend operates and no longer let them hold you back and get out of life what's exactly for you. My name is Seth Whitted, author of Breaking Negative Cycles. I come from a low income, high crime environment, and I've broken many family curses, cycles, generational cycles, environmental cycles, and I want to show others how to do it as well. So this friend that we all have is called our central nervous system. And our central nervous system is designed to protect us from potential threats and things that could cause us harm. And what that tends to look like is that could be people that have used as a threat, information that have used as a threat, or opportunities that have used as a threat. But here's the thing. Whether those things are actually a threat or a benefit to our life, the central nervous system will still protect us from them. First, I want to talk about where does the central nervous system get its information from? How can we spot when the central nervous system is kicking in? And then number three, how can we combat it to get what's for us in life? So the central nervous system gets all of its information from our life's experiences. Whatever we can emotionally understand from our environment, from our family, the people we've been around, the central nervous system says, okay, this is us, and I'm going to make sure that this remains protected, whether it's positive or not. So if you grew up in a poor environment around poor people, right? You are going to be comfortable around nothing but poor people. And your central nervous system, what this could look like is when you could get around somebody who is extremely successful and they could give you 5 steps on how to become successful within a month. But because your central nervous system only understands poorness, they may view that person as a threat. And we're going to talk about what those signals look like next, right? So you might tend to ask yourself like, wow, man, I work hard. Why is my career not taking off? Possibly central nervous system. Or why am I only attracted to guys who don't want to commit to me in a relationship? Could be your central nervous system. And that's because it is designed to keep everything that you currently understand and everything that is happening in your life the same or similar. Which is why you get out of one abusive relationship, end up in the next. You leave one dead-end job, right into the next. It seems like your career doesn't plateau because of your central nervous system. And now there's so many studies out there. Harvard studied this, other universities have studied this, and it's not a popular topic. So I'm gonna make it popular for my community to grow. So let's talk about some of these strategies that the central nervous system uses to get us away from the threat. You have to understand that some of the things the central nervous system warns us about is actually a threat. But the key is to know that it's kicked in, and so that you can actually decide, is this a threat? So let's look at some of this list, right? Some of the threats on this list are fear. You might feel fear around that person or in that opportunity. Anxiety, discomfort. You might resist the information because something doesn't feel right. Tension, avoidance, wanting to avoid any of these situations ever again, not putting yourself back in a place that is familiar or around people that give you that sense of avoidance. Feeling overwhelmed, doubt, having a lot of doubt that this information that this person is saying is even real or beneficial. Nervousness, being overwhelmed, skepticism, insecurities will kick in, rigidity. You'll feel defensive about the information. Like, think about all the situations where you gave somebody some information to help them and they became defensive. Central nervous system might be closed-minded, and they might have a sense of feeling like they don't have any control, which is further anxiety. So if you look at this list and you realize like, whoa, all of that is the central nervous system kicking in, it's like, man, well, what do I do, right? So now that you see this list, you have to realize that in order to obtain something that you've never had before, whether that's a healthy relationship, you've never been around it, you've never seen it, or success, you've never been around it, you've never seen it, marriage, anything, whatever it is that you want, In order to do it, we have to manipulate our central nervous system into believing that this is okay, or moving forward whether we feel that central nervous system at all. So here are a few steps that I utilize to manipulate and outsmart my central nervous system. The first step is to figure out what you even want. What does God even have for you? This is extremely important. You can't really, it's pointless to fight the central nervous system if you don't know what you want, right? So you have to figure out what kind of relationship, what kind of career, how much money. Like, I literally ask God, what do you have for me? And I want to go big as possible. What is it? What does it look like, right? That's the first thing. Number two is, in your prayers, consistently asking God to expand you mentally and emotionally to be able to obtain what it is that He has for you, or the thing that you want, right? So ask for the expansion. Number three is running towards that thing that you want, immersing yourself in it, finding ways to sit in it, and finding ways to become it, whether you have it or not, right? And what that could look like is reading books about the subject. That could be going to events around these kinds of people. Anything that you do. For example, I was trying to land a big loan, right? A loan that is outside of money I've ever even seen in my life. And so the bank that I was looking at was having an annual dinner celebration thing, and the tickets were like $250, the money I didn't have. But I knew that this would be one of those environments where it would further expand me to feel like I belonged at the goal that I was trying to reach, to manipulate my central nervous system. And so even buying the tickets, I was nervous. Like, well, what about the money? You don't even have it yet. Well, still did it. Even when I was going there, everything was nothing but anxiety, because like, you don't know anybody. Like, wow, these is all rich folks. And yeah, I knew it was completely out of my comfort zone and completely against my central nervous system. Everything about it. I still went. It was extremely beneficial. I ended up getting the loan. Not only that, I built some relationship, realized these folks was cool. There was nothing but politicians, other bankers, everyday organization leaders, regular folks there. I'm like, oh, there was nothing to be afraid of. I completely pushed past my central nervous system, landed the loan, got the building, moved forward. So that's a way of immersing yourself in it. And when you immerse yourself in it, you first realize, wow, all of my fears and everything that my central nervous system was fighting me against wasn't even true. And number two, on the other end of that, yielded so many different benefits. Now I understand why they say the first million is the hardest to make, but after that, doesn't matter what amount you're trying to make, it's easy. Because your central nervous system doesn't understand everything that it takes to obtain that. And it fights it at every single level, so you can never really get above here until you understand the process of breaking past your central nervous system. Once you can learn to manipulate your central nervous system, or get your central nervous system on your side, you essentially have faith on your side. This is probably why your prayers have not been working. This is probably why the law of attraction and all the manifestation, this has not been working. It's not enough to speak what you want and say what you want. You must learn how to feel exactly what it is that is for you, what God has for you, and what you want. This is the key to faith, and we'll talk about that further in another video. But number one, figure out what you want out of life. Number two, know exactly what is going on, what these central nervous system triggers are. Number three, continue to pray for expansion mentally and emotionally. Number four, immerse yourself. Oh, and number five, therapy. Go to therapy. A therapist can help you, because a lot of this is trauma, right? Central nervous system is kicking in. It's trauma. So go to therapy. You know what I mean? But love y'all. Breaking negative cycles. Make sure you cop it. If you're an artist, entrepreneur, just somebody who wants to get out of your own way and succeed and beat your central nervous system, cop the book.